Good day, my name is Angel Isabinian and our topic is all about history of computer, basic computing periods. So objectives. So after the report, you are able to gain familiarity of the different discoveries during the different periods. You are able to learn different inventions and discoveries during electromechanical age that lead to the invention of today's technology. And lastly, you are able to identify different technologies and their improvements during the different generation. So what is a computer? So a computer is a machine or device that performs processes, calculation, and operation based on instruction provided by a software or hardware program. It has the ability to accept data, process it, and then produce output. So here are some definition of computer. So computer is a programmable machine. It is an electronic device that manipulates information or data. It has the ability to store, retrieve, and process data. Computer is a machine that manipulates data according to the list of instructions. And lastly, computer is any device which aids human in performing various kinds of computation and calculations. So there are three principal characteristics of computer. First is it responds to a specific set of instructions in a well-defined manner. Second is it can execute a pre-recorded list of instructions. And lastly, it can store and retrieve large amount of data. So application of ICT in our daily lives. So number one, business. So almost every business uses computer nowadays, right? So they can be employed to store and maintain accounts, personal records, manage project, track inventory, create presentation, and report. So they enable communication with people both within and outside the business using various technologies including email. They can be used to promote business and enable direct interaction with the customer. Next is education. So computer can be used to give learners audiovisual packages, interactive exercises, and remote learning, including tutoring over the internet. They can be used to access educational information from intranet and internet sources or via ebooks. So they can be used to maintain and monitor student performance, including through the use of online examination, as well as to create projects and assessment. Next is healthcare. So healthcare continues to be revolutionized by computers as well as digitized medical information, making it easier to store and access patient data. Complex information can also be analyzed by software to aid discovery of diagnosis, as well as search for risks of diseases. Computers control lab equipment, heart rate monitors, and blood pressure monitors. So they enable doctors to have a greater access to information on the latest drugs, as well as the ability to share information on diseases with other medical specialists. Next is retail and trade. So computer can be used to buy and sell products online. This enables sellers to reach a wider market with low overheads and buyers to compare prices, read reviews, and choose delivery preferences. So computer or technology, they can be used for direct trading and advertising too, using sites such as eBay or local listing on social media or independent website. So next is government. So various government departments use computers to promote the quality and efficiency of their services. Examples include city planning, law enforcement, traffic, and tourism. Computer can be used to store information, promote services, communicate internally and externally, as well as for routine administrative purposes. Next is marketing. So computers enable marketing campaigns to be more precise through the analysis and manipulation of data. They facilitate the creation of website and promotional materials. They can be used to generate social media campaigns. So computer or technologies, they enable direct communication with customers through email and online chat. Next is science. So scientists were one of the first group to adopt computers as a work tool. In science, computer can be used for research, sharing information with other specialists both locally and internationally, as well as collecting, categorizing, analyzing, and storing data. So computer also play a vital role in launching, controlling, and maintaining spacecraft as well as operating other advanced technology. Next is publishing. So computer can be used to design pretty much any type of publication. This might include newsletter, marketing materials, fashion magazines, novels, or newspapers. Computers are used in the publishing of both hard copy and ebook. So they also use to market publications and trade sales using computers or technologies. Next is art and entertainment. Computers are now used in virtually every branch of the arts, as well as in the wider entertainment industry. Computer can be used to create drawings, graphic designs, and paintings. They can be used to edit, copy, send, and print photographs. They can be used by writers to create and edit. So also they can be used to make record, edit, play, and listen to music. They can be used for playing games too. Next is communication. So computers have made a real-time communication over the internet. This is thanks to the software and video conferencing services such as Skype. Families can connect with audio and video. Businesses can hold meetings between remote participants, and news organizations can interview people without the need for film crew. Modern computers usually have microphones and webcams built in nowadays to facilitate software like Skype. Older communication technologies such as email are also still used widely. So computer technologies are very important because we're able to communicate even though our families are far away from us, because through this we're able to communicate with them.
Good day, I'll be discussing the history of computer, basic computing period. Earliest computer, originally calculation were computed by humans, whose job title was computers. So, computers were first used to do calculations by humans with the job title of computers. These human computers were typically engaged in the calculation of mathematical expression. So the majority of these human computers were used to calculate a mathematical equation. The calculations of this period were specialized and expensive, requiring years of training in mathematics. So the calculations during this time were specialized and costly, requiring years of mathematical instruction. The first use of computer was recorded in 1630, referring to a person who carried out calculation or computation, and the word continued to use in the sense until the middle of the 20th century. So we have Tally 6. A Tally 6 was an ancient memory aid device to record and document numbers, quantities, or even a message. So muna siya ang Tally 6. Next, we have the abacus. So, kaning abacus is mostly makita ina sa elementary. Base ako. So, abacus is a mathematical device used to aid an individual in performing mathematical calculation. The abacus was invented in Babylon in 2400 BC. The abacus in the form we are most familiar with was first used in China in around 500 BC. It is used to perform a basic arithmetic operations. And then next we have the Napier bone. And Napier's bone was invented by John Napier in 1614. Allowed operation to multiply, divide, and calculate square and cube roots by moving values around placing them in specially constructed boards. So, next slide is we have a slide rule. This was invented by William Alfred in 1622. It's based on Napier's idea about logarithms, used primarily for multiplication, division, roots, logarithms, and then trigonometry. This is not normally used for addition or subtraction. So this is the slide rule niya siya. And then the Pascaline. Pascaline was invented by Blaise Pascal in 1642. It was its limitation to addition and subtraction, and this is too expensive. So, diri lang ko taman, then compare ni siya sa next reporter.
Stepped reckoner, invented by Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz in 1672. This machine can add, subtract, multiply, and divide automatically. This calculating machine is designed and built by the German mathematician philosopher Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz. Leibniz calculator is known for its strong advocate in the binary system. It is also known as the first true function calculator. Jacquard loom. The Jacquard loom is a mechanical loom invented by Joseph Marie Jacquard in 1881. It is an automatic loom controlled by punch cards. It is used for weaving silk and stone housed in Lanarkshire in the 19th century. It has a Jacquard attachment which allows the complex pattern to be woven. The punch cards used in the Jacquard mechanism led to the foundation for modern computer programming. Arithmometer, a mechanical calculator invented by Thomas D. Colmar in 1820. The first reliable, useful, and commercially successful calculating machine. The machine could perform the four basic mathematic functions. The first mass-produced calculating machine. This was the first digital mechanical calculator strong enough and reliable enough to be used daily in an office environment. This calculator could add and subtract two numbers directly and could perform long multiplication and divisions effectively by using movable accumulators for the results. Different engine and analytical engine. It is an automatic mechanical calculation designed to tabulate polynomial functions. Invented by Charles Babbage in 1822 and 1834. It is the first mechanical computer. Analytical engine is a fully controlled general-purpose computer which includes automatic mechanical digital computer into it. Any of the calculation set is being programmed with the help of punch cards. It is also includes integrate memory and programs flow, control, and allow into it. It is the first general mechanical computer system where any of the other finite calculations are being carried or performed by it. Difference engine. The word difference engine is derived from the Latin method or divide difference. A difference engine is a type of automatic mechanical calculators that are designed or developed to calculate or tabulate the polynomial functions. It can calculate in a way to tabulate the polynomial functions by using the small sets of coefficients. The difference between difference engine and analytical engine is the analytical engine can do 4 basic mathematical operations, and the difference engine can only do 1 mathematical operation. First computer programmer. In 1840, Augusta Ada Byron suggests to Babbage that he use the binary system. She writes program for analytical engine. Augusta Ada King, Countess of Lovelace, was an English mathematician and writer, chiefly known for her work on Charles Babbage proposed mechanical general-purpose computer, the analytical engine. Even though she wrote about computer, the analytical engine was never built. She realized that a computer could follow a series of simple instructions, a program, to perform a complex calculation.
Engine. So Schiitzan calculation engine was invented by Per George Schiitz in 1843. So it was based on Charles Babbage different engine. It was the first printing calculator. So Schiitzan calculation engine was able to rapidly calculate and print multiplication, division, exponentation, and a logarithmic table. Next is tabulating machine. So this is a tabulating machine. So tabulating machine is to assist in summarizing information and accounting. So it was an electromechanical machine designed to assist summarizing information stored in a punch card. So this machine was developed to help process data for 1890s US Census. So the one who invented it was Herman Hollerith in 1890. Next is Harvard Mark I. It was also known as IBM Automatic Sequence Controlled Calculator. So it was the first electromechanical computer. So the IBM Automatic Sequence Controlled Calculator, called Mark I by the Harvard University staff, was a general-purpose electromechanical computer that was used in the war effort during the last part of World War II. So the one who invented it was Howard H. Aiken in 1943. Next is Z1. So Z1 was the first programmable computer. To program the Z1 required that the user insert punch tape into a punch tape reader, and all output was also generated through the punch tape. So the Z1 was a motor-driven mechanical computer designed by Konrad Zuse in Germany from 1936 to 1938. So it was a binary electrically driven mechanical calculator with limited programmability, reading instruction from punched celluloid film. So next is Atanasoff Berry computer, or ABC. So it was the first electronic digital computing device. So it was invented by Professor John Atanasoff and graduate student Clifford Berry at Iowa State University between 1936 and 1942. Next is ENIAC. So ENIAC stands for Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. So it was the first electronic general purpose computer, and it was completed in 1946. So the one who developed ENIAC was John Presper Eckert and John Munchley. So next is UNIVAC 1. So the UNIVAC 1, or Universal Automatic Computer 1, was the first commercial computer, and also it was designed by John Presper Eckert and John Munchley. Next is EDVAC. So EDVAC stands for Electronic Discrete Variable Automatic Computer. So it was the first stored program computer. It has a memory to hold both stored program as well as data. So the one who designed it was von Neumann in 1952. So the first portable computer is Osborne 1. It was the first portable computer. So it was released in 1981 by the Osborne Computer Corporation. And lastly, the first computer company. So the first computer company was the Electronic Controls Company. So the one who founded it in 1946 was John Presper Eckert and John Munchley.
The basic computing periods to ages. A. Pre-mechanical. The pre-mechanical age is the earliest age of information technology. It can be defined as the time between 3000 BC and 1450 AD. We are talking about a long time ago. When humans first started communicating, they would try use language or simple pictures, drawings known as petroglyphs, which were usually carved in rock. Early alphabets were developed, such as the Phoenician alphabet. As alphabet became more popular and more people were writing information down, pens and paper began to be developed. It started off as just marks in wet clay, but later paper was created out of papyrus plant. The most popular kinds of paper made was probably by the Chinese homemade paper from rags. Now that people were writing a lot of information down, they needed ways to keep it all in permanent storage. This is where the first book and libraries are developed. You're probably heard of Egyptian scrolls, which were popular ways of writing down information to save. Some groups of people were actually binding paper together into a book-like form. Also, during this period were the first numbering system. Around 100 AD was when the first 1 to 9 system was created by people from India. However, it wasn't until 875 AD that the number 0 was the first sign of an information processor. The popular model of that time was the abacus. So, pre-mechanical. So, sa una wala pa tay technology. Ang ginagamit lang nila na para makipag-communicate
Good day everyone, I am Midilin Hawom. Now, I am going to discuss the topic that was assigned to me, which is all about the electromechanical and electronic. Electromechanical. Now, we are finally close to some technologies that resemble our modern day technology. The electromechanical age can be defined as the time between 1840 and 1940. These are the beginning of telecommunication. The telegraph was created in the early 18th century. Morse code was created by Samuel Morse in 1835. The telephone, one of the most popular forms of communication ever, was created by Alexander Graham Bell in 1876. The first radio developed by Guglielmo Marconi in 1894. All of these were extremely crucial emerging technologies that lead to big advances in the information technology field. Ang electromechanical, nag-define siya at the time between 1840 and 1940. Mao ni ang pinakaunang telecommunication niya. Ang telegraph gi-create siya in early 18th century sab. Ni ang telephone pod mao ni ang one of the most popular forms of communication ever nga gi-create ni Alexander Graham Bell pag 1876. Electronic. The electronic age is what currently live in. It can be defined the time between 1940 and right now. The NIIC was the first high-speed digital computer capable was designed to reprogram to solve a full range of computing problems. This computer was designed to be used by the U.S. Army for artillery firing tables. This machine was ever bigger than the Mark I, taking up 680 square feet and weighing 30 tons. Huge. It mainly used vacuum tubes to do its calculation. Ang electronic, it can be defined in time between 1940 hantod sab karon. Mausab ang the NIC mausab ni ang pinakaunang high-speed digital computer capable of being reprogrammed.
Good day everyone, my name is Mary Ann Morales. My topic today is about computer generation. The first computer used a vacuum tube for circuitry and magnetic drums for memory, and they were often enormous, taking up entire rooms. They were very expensive to operate and in addition to use a great deal of electricity, generated a lot of heat, which was often the cause of malfunction. First-generation computers relied on machine language, that lowest-level programming language understood by computer, to perform operations, and they could only solve one problem at a time. Input was based on punch cards and paper tape, and output was displayed on printout. First-generation computers use 1,000 vacuum tube, consume a lot of power, generated a large amount of heat. The examples in first-generation computers was ENIAC computers, and Unirac computer. The second-generation computer. Second-generation computers moved from cryptic binary machined language to symbolic or assemble language, which allow programmers to specify instruction in words. Second-generation computers still relied on punch cards for input and printout for output. These were also the first computers that stored their instruction in their memory, which moved from magnetic drums to magnetic core technology. In the second generation computer, used transistors and smaller and faster than first generation computers. And examples in computers and the second generation computers is IBM 6700 and CDC 300. Third generation computer, the developments of the integrated circuits was hallmark of the third, miniaturized and placed on silicon clips called semiconductors, which drastically increasing the speed and efficiency of computers. It could carry out instructions in billions of seconds. Much smaller and cheaper computer to the second generation computers. And the third generation computers in 1964 to 1971, cheaper and faster access using keyboard and monitor, made available to large amount of number of peoples. And the examples of computers is IBM 360 and PDP-11. The fourth generation computer. The microprocessors brought the fourth generations of computers of thousands of integrated circuits were bolted into a single silicon clip. As these small computers become more powerful, they could be linked together to form networks, which eventually led to the development of the internet. The fourth generation computers in 1971 to now. Microprocessor with a IVM very large stored integrations, thousands of IEC on the single clip, smaller and probable, cheaper and work at high speed. The fifth generation, based on artificial intelligence, i.e., still developing the use of parallel processing and superconductors, is helping to make artificial intelligence a reality. The goal is to develop devices that respond to natural language input and are capable of learning and organizational. There are some applications such as voice recognitions and that are being used today. The fifth generation computers in future use large-scale integrations, faster and cheaper, self-reliance, monotechnology, and intelligence computers. That's all. Thank you.